لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم Al-Khaliq made the oceans, rivers, lakes, streams and rain. Bow their waves in pure submission upon the earth to praise His name. La ilaha illallah.
Her hands reach for her face as her veil is snatched. She screams out in panic, "O Abbas, come to Sakina's help." A silence engulfs the battlefield as Sakina weeps. Are we doing justice to the hijab Sakina tried to protect? What is true hijab? Is it only a piece of cloth on our heads, or is it guarding our soul against the worldly desires? Why is it that the hijab is questioned by many as being a prison? Does the hijab truly take away one's freedom?
You find therefore that when you come to the discussion concerning the veil, you find that veil is discussed both in the Bible and within the Quran.
The practice of wearing the veil has dated as early as the 13th century, with records of Assyrian women adopting it to distinguish the noble women from the common women. Ancient Greek texts have also spoken of veiling among women of the Persian elite. Statues from the Persepolis depict women both veiled and unveiled. For many centuries, until around 1175, Anglo-Saxon and Anglo-Norman women wore veils that entirely covered their hair and often their neck up to their chin.
What constitutes modest clothing has changed over time, like most customs. What women wear has reflected the practices of a region and the social position of the wearer. The veil itself predates Islam by many centuries. Practices of wearing the veil have been recorded from classical Greece to the Byzantine Christian world and India among the Rajput women. Therefore, since the start of time, man's intellect has been developing gradually. His ancestors were born naked, and now man covers himself for various reasons. It would only be to return back to the olden times if the clothes on our bodies start becoming shorter and lesser.
Today, we live in a world that confuses us of where we should stand, what we should believe in. But in the end, the choice is ours. Is the question really about wearing hijab or not anymore? Are we afraid to be judged if we ask the questions that run through our mind each day?
You find that the first issue and similarity on the issue of the veil in the Bible and in the Quran is that both in the Bible and in the Quran, the veil is a divine ordinance from God. What do we mean? We mean that if you were to read Paul's first letter to Corinthians 11, if you were to read it, you'll find that it highlights that the wearing of the veil isn't something cultural. It is something divinely ordained in Christianity. He talks of the fact that God is the head of man, and that man is the head of the woman, and that the woman leaves herself in a sense of disgrace if she does not cover her hair.
Why is it that we are more attracted to women who seem naked even when they are dressed, and to women who show off their beauty to every eye? Don't our hearts desire to possess an untouched diamond? A diamond whose true beauty no eye has ever seen. Aren't we ashamed of our gazes and of how we perceive our women?
Every woman is a pearl in the sea waiting to be found. Hijab isn't just about covering your body. It isn't only about covering your physical self. It's our thoughts and actions too. Our inner faith, our beliefs, our teachings, and our understanding is what makes us want to wear hijab. Today, our sisters in Islam fight for wearing hijab in different parts of the world. It has become part of their struggle. How can we support them in this battle? Hijab is what unites us as Muslims worldwide, something we hold close to our hearts.
Paul makes it clear that this act of covering your head is a divine ordinance. And you know what the proof is that it's a divine ordinance? The proof can be seen in a number of ways. Number one, if you were to look at any Mary in a church, you'll never see her hair.
There waves in pure submission upon the earth to praise his name. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. There is no creature among us, upon the air or in the sea, that does not sing with wonder, praising in community. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The triumph is a sign to all of mankind, brought to life.
Why do we make our women feel uncomfortable with our piercing gazes? Is hijab only for the women? Hasn't a woman given birth to us? Isn't she our sister? Won't a woman complete half of our religion? Won't she be our daughter? Why then do we violate our women with our eyes and thoughts? Why do we treat them like toys and objects of desire? A veil for our eyes and soul is a must, don't you think?
The same as in the Quran. What do we mean? When you look at Surah 24 in the Quran or Surah 33, any verse that has come down talking about the veil always begins with a command to the people. What do I mean? That if you look at the verses in the Quran, they'll always tell the Prophet, قُل, we command you, قُل لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ يَغُضُّ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِمْ قُل لِلْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَغْضُضْنَ مِنْ أَبْصَارِهِنَّ يا أيها النبي قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين. Every time the Quran began a verse on hijab, it always gave a command to the Prophet to tell the believers that this is something which is obligatory.
Come 9/11, history could not have found a more inappropriate time to introduce Muslims to the world. The public was told that the planes that caused the death of those hundreds of innocent civilians were manned by Muslim fundamentalists with lethal anti-Western settlements that caused Islam to be stigmatized as the creed of hate and intolerance. People began to be familiar with words like Quran, Sharia, Jihad, and of course hijab, which of all the Muslims' teachings and manifestations, people in Europe and America felt inclined to make an issue with.
The hijab has different legal and cultural statuses in various countries. France, since 2004, has banned the wearing of hijab in public schools, universities, and government buildings. Tunisia initiated a similar ban in the year 1981, which was lifted in the year 2011, and Turkey since 1997. Syria's ban on face veils in universities from July 2010 was lifted in the year 2011 during the Syrian uprising.
The tents burnt, her earrings gone, her veil snatched, her uncle Abbas gone. She calls out to her father, his loving chest gone. Where will Sakina sleep with her father gone? The 4-year-old Sakina rushes to the battlefield and cries out, "Oh my father, what wrong have I done? Oh my father, where is my uncle Abbas? Sakina's veil is now gone."
I feel confident in my hijab. I feel beautiful in my hijab. I feel safe in my hijab. I know that today, hijab being a part of my life helps me become a better Muslim, helps me change towards the good, helps me answer the unanswered questions that I had and still think of every day in my life. Hijab is my right, it's my choice, it's my life. Today we are blessed with this choice when others fight for their life for wearing hijab. We should be proud of who we are and what we portray by wearing hijab.
Let us not use harsh words as we explain and ask our sisters to wear the hijab. One must understand that it is a hard struggle that we know nothing about. Every sister who does not wear the hijab has a right to not be criticized, to not be judged, and to not be brought down in value, for she may be a better human being than a hijabi sister. We should instead make her feel that wearing the veil and observing the hijab would please her Lord, would add more value to her good actions, thus attaining perfection.
I don't think my hijab hides my beauty in any way. I feel it enhances it in a humble way. I know that today, when I wear my hijab, I hold a responsibility with the way I act, with the way I speak, with the way I express myself. But in no way have I been stopped or blocked of expressing myself. I have all the different kinds of hijabs, the styles, the colors. Today our women are so lucky. We have hijabs for swimming, we have hijabs for gym, and so many more different occasions. We must not just dress modestly, but behave modestly. Let us think about this.
Because today in Muslim communities, we fell to the same trap as the Christian community. The Christian community, when you were telling them, why don't you wear the scarf? They replied by saying, in our own time. Today, the Muslim community is the same. You go to many in their teenage years, you say to them, why don't you wear hijab? I'm not ready to wear hijab yet. What do you mean you're not ready to wear hijab yet? I'm not ready, as in like, it's not the time now. Maybe when I get married and I go to Hajj and I look ugly, when I get married and I go to Hajj, that's when I'll wear the hijab. But as for now, why wear the hijab now? As in, I'm not ready. When something is a divine ordinance, we don't wait for you to be ready. It's obligatory on you to act it.
We are the Muslim Ummah, and each day that goes by, the harder we try. In gratitude we pray to Allah. Chosen as part of the best of mankind, we spread the word of Islam. Each man at each hour, in awe of his power. Each flower, each tree, everything that we see. Spread the word, oh man. Spread the word of Islam. Oh, fortunate one, paradise must be won. Paradise must be won each day and each night, through darkness and through light. Cry it out to the world. Spread the word. Spread the word. Spread the word, oh man. Spread the word of Islam. Every difficulty faced in our lives.
We are all visitors in this time and place. We are just passing through. Our purpose here is to observe, to learn, to grow, to love. And then we return home.
Let us understand that the hijab is not limited to women to put on a veil on their hair and face or a loose dress. Why do we fail to observe the hijab of our eyes? Aren't our eyes special to us? The hijab of our ears. We feed our ears with gossip every day. The hijab of our tongue. We speak profanity and backbite so freely. The hijab of our soul, our hands, our feet. Why don't we stop ourselves from going to satanic places? Man would only perfect himself in his entire being if and only if the hijab was observed.
If the hijab of the Muslim woman was a prison, then I do not understand why the Holy Mary is depicted in the churches of our Christian brothers wearing a veil. The same way a veil depicts the holiness of a nun, it portrays the piety and modesty of a Muslim woman. The best of jewels are kept stored in boxes of gold, packed with glittering diamonds for those who know its true worth. The rest are on the shelves, waiting to be tried on, waiting to be taken home, waiting for someone to just recognize their worth. Her veil was snatched, her father martyred, her ears were bleeding, her uncle Abbas gone. She walked a prisoner, her little brother gone. She was now an orphan, the smile on her face gone. The dungeons of Sham, the streets of Kufa, the city of Medina gone. Yet the 4-year-old Sakina's hands reach to cover her face and hair from the people. Who has snatched our veils? Let us be Sakina.
Presents a different image in my mind, a momentary emotion, space spent in time. Memories fade like a dusty window pane, and you can't see your past no more. The only thing that remains is that feeling of warmth in your heart that will always be there, be there. An immortal smile stays only for a while, but down the line it strengthens us inside. We all live the illusion of many days to come, not realizing that tomorrow lies with Allah, the only one, the only one. Time goes by on the wings of a butterfly, and what goes with it is all that you have. So take the best of every moment, take the best of every man, then move on and don't ever look back.